Amy? Where's Amy? No reports today. No reports today. She didn't approve anything outside of last week.
Audio's on.
Okay, it's 9:30.
9:30.
Oh, I guess we're not gonna pledge right away, right?
That's right.
They're going to do with the pledge of theirs today, so a little different. I'm going to start.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to have the students start us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, they were going to come up and
Can we do our prayer?
Yes.
Okay. The prayer today is, let's bow our heads. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation which designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which the date falls as Police Week. That day is specifically set aside to honor and remember the officers that made their ultimate sacrifice. To date, this year, there have been around 100 line of duty deaths across the country this year. We would like to honor those that have fallen. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. It's from Matthew 5:19. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just so everyone knows, we do have an overflow area in case anyone else does show up. It's just down the hall. It's our larger conference room. So if you have other family members you're texting about coming and showing up, that's another space that's available as well. So moving on to item number 1, this has never been done before. It's our inaugural military signing day. And the intent behind this is to recognize high school seniors that want to be recognized, that are enlisting in the service, going to a service academy, or doing ROTC at the collegiate level. So I have a book, which Michelle has. And so in that book, we've captured the name of the student, the school that they've gone to, they've signed it, and the service that they're going into. So this log will hopefully continue in perpetuity, and it will be held by the Veterans Services Office to be managed by them, and we'll just do this on an annual basis. So we haven't penned the inside of the book. Mark and I, the Deputy County Administrator, we're still working on some of the verbiage, but I'd like to read for you a brief inscription that I think signifies the intent of what we will ultimately write. We're somewhat critical of what we want to put in there, knowing that this book will hopefully endure for a long time. It's called The Record of Service. Among the many records preserved within Geauga County, few carry greater meaning than this one. This book honors the high school graduates who choose to enter military service for the United States of America. It is a record of commitment, responsibility, and purpose at the moment their paths turn towards service beyond themselves. Each name recorded here represents a decision grounded in character and discipline. Behind every signature are families, schools, and communities throughout Geauga County that helped form these young men and women through their expectations of integrity, work ethic, humility, and respect for country. These values are not abstract. They are lived and carried forward through service. Some will serve close to home. Others will serve in regions far removed from the place they began. All will do so as representatives of a community that understands service as both a responsibility and privilege. In this way, the values of Geauga County extend beyond geography, continuing through the conduct and example of those who go forward. This record is intended as both documentation and reflection. It captures a moment of decision that will be carried forward through years of service and experience. Long after these individuals have moved beyond their time in uniform, This book will remain as a point of origin and recognition of their choice to serve. May future readers understand this record as evidence of a continuing tradition of civic responsibility. May they recognize that the strength of a nation is sustained by individuals who choose service with clarity of purpose and commitment to something larger than themselves. And may the legacy of those from Geauga County endure through the example they set, established in the year of our Lord 2026. So something along those lines will be written in the front of the journal, and hopefully they can come back in 30 years and take a look at your signatures. So we'll do this by school, and thank you for your patience. This is the first one we've ever done. So we'll have Kenston High School come up first. Sure. So I have Callan Buchanan, who is going to the United States Air Force Academy. I have Nathaniel McIntosh, United States Naval ROTC program at The Ohio State University. And it looks like we have Benjamin Beaumont, who's not here today, and he is enlisting in the Ohio Army National Guard. So they've received a certificate from the Veteran Services Office. I don't know if you want to talk about the certificate a little bit and the coin that you've given them?
As everybody knows, we have a challenge coin for Geauga County Veteran Services. The military do understand that, but for those that do not, it is a pride piece for us. And you were given those from your seniors, officers, for something that's good. It carries on a tradition and reminds you of where you came from. So thank you very much for continuing on our tradition.
So before you sit back down, if you could go to the mic one at a time and just say your name. No pressure. And if you could tell us just a little bit about what prompted you to serve. And you have to go to that mic right there because otherwise no one will hear you.
Callan Buchanan. I chose to attend the United States Air Force Academy because of a commitment to my country and the hopes to become a fixed-wing fighter pilot.
Awesome.
I'm Nathaniel McIntosh, and I decided to do NROTC with the Marine Corps option at Ohio State, and I chose to do it because both my parents served in the Navy, and I kind of want to carry on that tradition.
Raw. Okay, next we have from Chardon High School, TJ Adair. He will be attending the United States Military Academy, known as West Point. We have Riley Dewey, who is enlisting in the United States Army. We have Lucas Zelensnik, who is enlisting in the United States Army. Caden Bednar, who is enlisting in the United States Navy. And then we also have Lily, who's not here today, Lily Wasley, who's enlisting in the United States Navy. Okay. Okay, same. If you could please go to the microphone one at a time. Say your name and why you chose to serve.
My name is TJ. My dad served a 22-year career in the Army, and growing up, we were constantly moving around everywhere. I knew since 6th grade that I'd wanted to go to West Point. It's been a dream of mine for a really long time, and I'm honestly just excited to serve and keep the family tradition going.
My name is Riley Dewey, and I just wanted to start a new tradition for my family and kind of continue something of my own that I can start for myself.
My name is Lucas Zelznick, and I'm the first one in my family to go into the military, and I wanted to do it because I wanted to make my own path and hopefully start a new family tradition of military.
My name is Caden Bednar. I wanted to join the U.S. Navy to work for something more than myself and, as many of my fellow people, to start a new tradition for my family.
We have one additional ad from West G. Is it Jackson? Yes, ma'am. Okay, Jackson Wickham. He will be going into the Marine Corps.
My name is Jackson Wickham. I don't come from a military background, but the mass amount of honor and pride that comes from the Marine Corps has piqued my interest immensely. And again, like my fellow seniors have said, that they want to start a new tradition for their family, and I hope I can do the same.
All right. So really quick before we close, this is what the book will look like, just so everyone can see it. It matches our journals that Christy keeps for the county, so it's all in line with that. And really quick before we close, I wanted to offer for Veteran Services any closing remarks. Would you like to use my microphone?
I think I have a big enough mouth.
You sure? Okay.
You can have mine. Today we recognize a very special group of students who have chosen a path of service, sacrifice, and honor by committing to the United States military. Many graduates are planning the next chapter of life. These young men and women have chosen to serve something greater than themselves. That choice takes courage, discipline, and dedication. To the families, thank you for your support and the values you have instilled in the service members. To the students, be proud of this moment. You are joining a long line of Americans that answer the call for service. And on behalf of the Geauga County Veteran Service Commission, congratulations and thank you for your commitment.
Michelle, would you like to introduce everyone from Veteran Services just for a minute? It's a very small but mighty team.
This is one of our Veteran Service Commissioners, Skip Benline. He represents the American Legion Post from Burton. This is my assistant, Stacy Malone, retired Navy, and I am Michelle Pemberton, the Director, Army.
Thank you. And before we leave this topic, I'd like anyone who is prior military to please stand, or active military.
As well.
Give them a round of applause. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience and for being here for this special recognition. I completely understand if the students have to depart. We did that on purpose so that if you do have to leave, you're welcome to. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you for organizing this and for Max and the whole team. I think it was a really nice event.
Absolutely.
I saw Dad in the audience drying his eyes a little bit, so I think it was meaningful for them as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay, we'll give everybody a minute. Okay, moving on to item number 2, which is public comment. Do we have anyone that is signed up to speak on an agenda item for today? Yes, sir. Would you please use can you use the microphone, or is it too difficult?
Thank you.
That way we can hear you. You sure? That way we can hear what you have to say.
Thank you.
All the young people here today that are joining the military, they're going to be in for a big surprise when they get their hair shaved. And it's going to be a very big surprise when they march to everything and they make their bed every day. But at the end, after 30 years or 15 years, whatever the time is, they will enjoy the friendships they've made throughout everything in the military. It was good they're doing what these youngsters are doing. And we hopefully will see them back here as Geauga County in the future. Thank you to the parents who have brought these youngsters along. They're wonderful youngsters, and it's, you bear with them because it's an experience going through boot camp and basic training and all the other training programs you put through. They'll be seeing the world at government expense, but meeting wonderful people and making friends that will last forever. And eventually they will all settle down in Geauga County. I could talk forever on the military. I've spent many years in it myself, including Vietnam and including the Pentagon, and wonderful people on board many ships. And needless to say, they've heard my name before. And as people here know, they know who I am. And I hopefully hope to see all of you again someday. Hopefully next week. Thank you very much.
Anyone else on an agenda item? Yes, sir.
Hi there, Skip Claypool, and it was also very a heartwarming moment as a former Air Force veteran to see all the kids coming in here. It's fantastic. And so thank you for whoever organized that. Amy, I'm sure you had a large part in that, and that was great. I'm rising to talk about item 3, which is the purchase of the library building. And there's a number of us that are concerned because, first of all, that building was built with taxpayer dollars. And now we're buying it with taxpayer dollars. And so it looks like we're double paying for a building that was paid for by taxpayer dollars. That's a concern. The second concern is the library, that particular building, and I've been at many times, is totally satisfactory. I don't know why the library is wanting to vacate that building and maybe build something different. So there's not been enough public discussion about the use of public dollars for those kinds of facilities. And so I'm sure that the county has a reason for that. I'd like to hear it. I don't know if there's been enough public discussion about that, but there's a number of us that are concerned about the fact that we may be going into buying a bunch of property and buildings that aren't really necessary, particularly since we're double paying for a building that's already been paid for. So that's a real concern that I have, and if there's a reason for that, I'd like to hear it, because I've not heard enough of that. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Anybody else with public comment? Hearing none, we'll move to item number 3.
Okay, for item number 3, we have Chris Carroll from the library and Jessica Bolt from the Department on Aging, who will come up to the table. The item number 3 is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-066, authorizing the purchase and lease of property located at 12701 Ravenwood Drive, Chardon, PPN 13-705027, including to approve and execute the real estate purchase agreement between the Geauga County Public Library and the Geauga County Board of Commissioners for the purchase of real property located at 12701 Ravenwood Drive, Chardon, PPN 13-705027 in the amount of $3,200,000, which includes a deposit of $10,000 in earnest money applied to the purchase price. Approve and execute the lease agreement between the Geauga County Board of Commissioners, lessor, and the Geauga County Public Library, lessee, to lease property located at 12701 Ravenwood Drive from effective date of purchase through June 30th, 2027, in the amount of $1 per annum, with all utilities paid by lessee, including maintenance and repairs, during the term of the lease up to $5,000 per each occurrence, and further approve and authorize the president of the board to execute any and all documents relating in any way to the purchase of the property, including but not limited to the acceptance of closing protection coverage in an amount not to exceed $40.
Did you want to? You can go first.
Good morning, Jessica Bolt, Director for the Geauga County Department on Aging. This has been a very long time coming, and if it's all right with everyone, I've prepared something today since this has been such a long time coming. So first of all, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak today, Commissioners. And this is a very big moment, just not for the Department on Aging, but for the seniors of Geauga County. And what's before us today is more than just a real estate transaction. It's the result of more than actually a decade of work, setbacks, persistence, and ultimately an unwavering commitment to the seniors of Geauga County. The need for a new senior center began well before 2019. Even then, it was clear when we were at our Ravenwood facility, it no longer met the needs for a growing aging population. Our space was limited, programming was constrained, and planning for the future began at that point. Since 2015, we have explored numerous opportunities, partnering with community organizations, evaluating multiple properties, and even engaging in the design process and coming close to new construction. And despite those efforts, we had not found the right fit. Following the sale of our facility in 2019, our administrative offices were relocated temporarily to 470 Center Street and then here to the county office building, and our adult day center was relocated to the better suited space at the Metzenbaum Shelter Industries. Our senior center operations continued to lease at the Ravenwood facility until October of 2022 and then relocated to 470 Center Street Building 8. Understanding it was not our permanent solution, but one that allowed us to continue serving residents without interruption. While our services have continued, the lack of a permanent centralized facility has remained a significant operational challenge. Then in February 2025, Commissioner Dvorak and I toured the library administrative building, and for the first time in years, all critical elements aligned. A central location within our highest served population area, strong accessible parking for older adults, and a size and a layout that not only supports our current programming, but allows for future expansion and the opportunity to build stronger partnerships within the community and partner forward. This opportunity uniquely meets the operational accessibility and long-term service needs of the senior center. It allows us to move from a temporary arrangement into a stable, purpose-built environment for services, providing stability and consistency for our seniors to go for meals, wellness programs, and connection. Our senior center is simply not a place just for people to gather. It is where the department's mission and the priorities for the state plan on aging are put into action. It is where we deliver nutrition programs and chronic disease management to support healthy living. It is where we combat isolation by creating purposeful and meaningful opportunities for social connection and volunteerism. It is where we promote population health through fitness, wellness programming, and health education screenings. And it is where we help older adults preserve their independence through falls prevention and physical health programs. More than 30% of Geauga County's residents are 60 and older, and that number is growing, and so is the demand for these services. With this new facility, we are positioned just not to meet today's needs, but to effectively plan for the future. I'd like to recognize the individuals who contributed to this effort. One of the things that makes Geauga County so very special is our long history of collaboration and working together towards shared goals and to specifically benefit our residents. And this project is a reflection of that partnership and collective commitment to our community. Melissa Wheeler, our senior centers manager, who's with me today. Melissa. She's been with me every step since 2019 and every setback. Your dedication has been unwavering. Our County Administrator, Amy Bivan, and Deputy County Administrator, Mark Jimison, for their leadership and support throughout this process. Community and Economic Development, Gina Hofstadter and Elaine Amalkamaki, for their partnership and assistance with procuring the revolving loan funds of $2.6 million to make this dream, this funding dream possible. The Prosecutor's Office, specifically Laura LaChapelle, for her expertise and diligence. Chris Carroll, and the Geauga Public Library for being collaborative and a forward-thinking partner. Commissioners, thank you for your continued support and for recognizing that investing in our seniors is an investment in the strength and future of our community. And lastly, recognize the residents of Geauga County for their support and engagement and belief in the importance of senior services. It's what drives our work forward. The investment today, to me, is so much more than an agenda item and a vote. It represents a shared commitment to our seniors and an investment, not just in a building, but in the people of Geauga County who built our community and deserve to remain active, supported, and connected within it. And after years of searching, planning, and adapting, we are finally in a position to provide a permanent senior center for programs and services that support health, wellness, independence, and dignity. Thank you so much for today.
Can you talk a little bit about the timeline of relocating the senior center?
Yes. Relocating the senior center. So our per the sale and lease agreement, the library will be staying until June of 2027. We will be ready in July to begin renovations so that we can move in as soon as possible. What is absolutely critical for the senior center to relocate is a kitchen. All of our senior centers are meal hubs. So that is the most critical element to be able to function, not only for congregate meals, but for home-delivered meals. I always say there's what we want and what we need. So what we need is a commercial kitchen. Once we have that element in place, we can relocate. We can always work on what we want afterwards, but what we need is that commercial kitchen. My hope is that it would take no longer than 3 months to be able to make any critical renovation to be able to relocate.
Sounds about right.
I'll just, well, Chris, would you like to say a few remarks, and then I'll add a bit of context?
Sure. My name is Chris Carroll. I'm the Director of Geauga County Public Libraries, and I want to express my appreciation to the county commissioners and the county administrative team on their collaboration with this project. We've been working on it for a while. This successful transition will allow the library to move forward with our new Chardon location, which will co-locate a new Chardon branch with our administrative functions. So we will be reducing our infrastructure, creating greater efficiencies, and be able to have greater focus on our public service.
So just a couple items of note from the administrative side. So we purposely held off in talking with Jessica on looking for architectural services before this vote was decided by the board. That way we could save money, taxpayer money, and not, in case the deal did not happen or there was a change by the board, that we would have lost a significant amount of money in trying to, develop something over there before the purchase. So that is something that we're excited. If this does go through today and you decide yes, that will be sort of our first order of business is obtaining architectural services. To put this purchase into a broader context, which we're going to be discussing on Thursday, is I am looking, as your administrator, at all the county properties. The one that's always percolated to the top is 470. I have taken your intent as a board, and I'm looking at our infrastructure from a conservative, common sense point of view, which is to minimize our footprint, to make common sense decisions. That we have a number of properties that are vacant properties that are easements. Are those to be put in better hands that could probably be better cared for by another entity other than the Board of Commissioners? So things like that to me show up as a common sense decision making for the board, which also lessens our burden on having to maintain those entities for taxpayers. We'll talk a little bit about, not to steal away from this, but I feel like context is important, that this isn't just an acquisition of another piece of property. This is actually the first necessary puzzle piece in emptying 470, which has gotten a lot of attention well before my tenure. So there's 4 entities that are left in there, the senior center being the biggest one. This will allow us to have an off-ramp for the biggest entity at 470, which will help facilitate the exit strategy from that piece of infrastructure. And a lot of those entities are looking at habitating existing county property. So again, we'll get into that on Thursday, but I did want to provide that context to the board and for the public so that they know a little bit more about what this purchase means and why it's an initial critical linchpin in the dominoes that need to be executed for us to start to lower some of our overhead, because we do occupy very old buildings. So with that maintenance burden that we have, it's probably ideal to have less of it if it's that old. So hopefully that helps you in your decision making today.
And Amy, can you talk about is the senior center going to be relocating temporarily before this space can be used?
So we have a number of options on the table that we're going to talk about on Thursday. So everything, I've asked Jessica to look at everything from, can we curtail or pause senior services temporarily? Could we build in, when we sell 470, could we build in a clause that allows her to remain in place until, if they did, if let's say another entity bought 470, that they would be able to remain in place until they were ready to move sometime in 27, ideally, right? If it was 27 or early 28, depending on the extent of the renovations. And then also moving services. Can we rent commercial space somewhere in the local area that makes sense temporarily so that services can continue? So I think all options are on the table, and those are some of the things that we're going to talk about on Thursday with you in the broader context of facilities overall.
Very good. I'm going to be a downer, so if the other commissioners, you want to say nice things about this, this would be a good time, I think.
It's a long-range plan, and all the pieces have to fall in place at the right time, and I think we have that in our documentation. But it's going to be a collaboration that would help the library and help the seniors and help the commissioners to manage buildings, and I think it's a great thing.
So I guess I'm going to give a perspective here. Over the last 14 years, senior center has always been a challenge. Specifically the Chardon Senior Center, if the history is we used to be in the basement of Ravenwood, and that space was very difficult as far as space, as far as availability for people to park, to get in and out of there, and also just the constant, it was just a very confusing place as far as being able to have something that was satisfactory for all the different functions of what the senior centers, and specifically this Chardon one has always been like the hub of our senior centers in the county. We have pieces all over the place, and I see former Commissioner Lennon in the back also, and I appreciate his fight also with me through this when we dealt with this constantly, as far as just trying to find that right place. We went through leases in Chesterland. We had lease in over at the Patterson's fruit farm, and then we tried to buy the Dollar General that we were going to do that, and it's always been one of those things that we've always tried to go on the most conservative approach to try to buy something and then try to build it. I can tell you that I understand the comment that was made this morning that it was paid with tax dollars, and now we're paying it again with tax dollars, and we're paying for it twice. Point well taken, and I understand that perspective. I can tell you that I look at how many challenges we have had with this senior center and what we have tried to do to kind of recalculate and recenter services, and just get to a point that this isn't just for us today, but it's for years and years to come. And I look at what we've gone through of looking at how much would it cost us to build a brand new senior center, how what's the location that we're going to have to do, the timing that's involved in building a brand new senior center. And it's if you really took a 50-yard look at this, and you said to yourself, if you're just looking at it as far as we're double paying on this. I understand the fact that the library is a completely separate funded organization through the levy. That's not based on our property taxes. The library is running off of their the levy dollars that they receive, that every resident in Geauga County has voted for it. No different than our seniors. You know, we have an aging levy, same thing that people do vote for that. So I think that we have to look at this as not becoming emotional and tunnel visioned in the cost, because if you look at what the cost would be to create a building such as the library, to be able to have a location like the library near our hospital primarily, our Veteran Service Commission, all of the functions of what the county offices are, and to be able to have that, I think that that's another critical piece that sometimes, you know, it's about location, and there's a certain value and a cost to that. I have had multiple conversations with Ms. Carroll from the library, and I know that it's very easy to immediately, you know, put it out there that they're spending money, they're building this, they're building that. The reality of it is this, is that they're actually shrinking their footprint. They're actually reducing their size of what their administrative side of things are. You know, but I think that we cannot always look at this in a you know, it's just like any property deal that I've ever done in my lifetime. You always look to try to get the best deal that you can, so that you could always have the dollars and ability to put in. But I've also been involved with deals that I know I have overpaid because of what it is going to be. I'm not saying that this is an overpaid deal, because we could never create that footprint of that building with today's construction costs to be able to create that center. And I can honestly tell you, I have had multiple conversations with multiple people, because I've been pretty verbal and very open to my position on this, because we have a growing senior population every year. There's more of a demand. And it's not just a place for people to hang out, but it's a lot of these programs that we're doing, the meals that they're preparing for seniors that are at home. And sometimes I think we really need to look at the whole picture and understand we're blessed in so many ways. You know, on Sunday, my mom was able to be with us for Mother's Day, maybe many of you also. But there's a lot of seniors that are just pretty much just on their own, with no communication, no contacts, no nothing. Some of the programs that the senior center does reaches far beyond anything that has anything to do with people going to play Keno at the senior centers. This is about, you know, quality of life. We're lucky in Geauga County to have a county that truly cares about their people, their residents, and we have also been in the process that we have continued to grow dollars. On the side of Department on Aging has continued to grow, you know, a fund that has basically developed X number of dollars that they have committed to this project for many, many years. And the fact that we're able to also do the CDBG dollar availability, it's a situation that the impact as far as directly to the taxpayers is very softened by this. And I wouldn't be sitting here telling you this, because I'm probably one of the biggest sticklers on many of these things. And I can tell you that I had to really look at this, and I had to understand this, and we got to really take a deep look that this is not just an expense of X number of dollars. It's going to give us quality for years to come. We're going to free up 470. I totally agree with Administrator Vivan of where it gives us that has been the anchor in that location that has held us from moving forward to getting rid of 470, and to be able to have a contingency that we have a sale in place, And I know that we had interested parties. When we originally were starting this project, we had people that were calling former Commissioner Lennon multiple times that he said, we want to try to empty it out. And I think that there's still those people out there to be able to do that. And we can move forward on working to get that closed out with that contingency. It assists the library to give them the time that they need. And I can honestly tell you that there has not been unreasonable requests and unreasonable negotiations with this. It's been pretty much, here's what we're dealing with, here's where we have to be to make this make sense for us. And I'm going to support this today because of the fact that it's based on the big picture. It's not just based on this huge spend that I think that, in fairness to us, I think that maybe we didn't do a good enough job conversing this to the public until today of being able to express our part of this. But so if that's the case, I'll own that, and maybe it should have had more conversation. But it was a situation that here's where we're at, and I can assure you that I've been engaged in this process the entire time to know that this is not an irresponsible or a knee-jerk reaction to just say I want to vote yes for this, but this is my reason for saying that I support this.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Commissioner.
It's just that we looked at, I've been working on this for a year, maybe a year and a half, communicating with the library. But we looked at this at all angles, and to rebuild that building that is there now, we had an architect look at it, look at the blueprints and everything else. To build that building today would be $9.3 million. And we're getting it for 3.2. And it's just, I think it's the right move for the future. So.
What about my library, though?
So I'll say I completely support the senior center moving out of 470 and eventually divesting that property. I think that is 100% the right long-term direction for the county. My trepidation is mostly a timing issue. We don't even know if we're going to have property taxes in the year. Department on Aging is not a statutory function of government. So, and I just think if we have another property that's just going to make what will already be difficult choices just more difficult. I think taxpayers are telling us they don't want us spending money right now. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that again and again. I mean, I read the emails I get from people. I read, the Facebook messages and so forth. Especially our seniors are really having a hard time with their property taxes. And I hear you. So I think this timing, unfortunately, could be worse. And that is not to take away from the hard work of Jessica and Carol and Amy and everyone that went into this. And I understand the thought process of the other two commissioners. I just disagree on the timing. And then I guess my other trepidation is frankly the purchase price, which is at $3.2 million. We had an appraisal done, which came in at $1.8 million. So that's what, I don't know, 75%, 80% above that appraised value. And I understand what, that my fellow commissioners are saying as far as the cost to build and the prior properties that were looked at and so forth. But I'm kind of new here, so I don't have that same attachment to the process up until now. All I know is this feels like the wrong timing to me.
Well, at this time, I'll make the motion for item number 3 in favor of this monumental action.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
No.
Commissioner DeWar.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. Today's financials.
Among other things include a cash transfer from the general fund to community development, Metzenbaum, and Board of Elections for the first quarter 2026 interest transfer. There's a transfer from the general fund to the Board of DD for gas well proceeds from January through March of 2026. And a transfer from the revolving loan fund to the senior center construction fund for the purchase of the Chardon Senior Center building. Among the encumbrances is a travel from the Common Pleas Court to replace encumbrance number 2026-2124 due to it being inadvertently deleted and changing the person traveling from Velta Moisio to Randy Taylor. The original travel remains, which was to the Ohio Association of Court Administration 2026 Spring Conference in Toledo, Ohio. Among the vouchers is $206,676 from the auditor to Gannett Fleming Geospatial Information Systems Cloud Platform, $77,000 from the Commissioner's Office to Chardon Municipal Court for $30,000, Fairmount Center for the Arts, $22,000, and Red Tulip Project of Geauga for $25,000 for the 2026 recipients of the annual grant money from the Opioid Remediation Fund. There's $10,000 from the Commissioners to Title Professionals Group for the earnest money payment for the purchase of the Geauga County Public Library Administration Building as the next Chardon Senior Center, and $102,058.66 from the Maintenance Department to Kenneth A. Roddick for the county barn roof replacement.
I'll move to approve the financials.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do have a discussion. Full disclosure, when I wanted to ask the question is last week, I completely missed one of the items that had been brought up, and I wanted to have a discussion as far as to potentially make a motion to rescind or something, but there was a candy purchase for $1,077.12 by the auditor's office for candy that they purchased for the Maple Festival.
And dog treats. Dog treats.
And dog treats. You know, it's just, I know that at the same meeting last week, you know, one of our directors was, you know, basically, you know, asked and stated to about travel expenses for training. That was $1,000, and here we're at $1,077 for candy. And
It was $9,000, the trip to Austin.
right, but there's been other conversations of $1,000 travels that I've heard, or $2,000 travels. But you know, looking into this, I once again I'll own it if I've missed it in the past financials, and I missed it last week. Full disclosure, I did, and I would have said something last week when I saw this. But to spend $1,077 to have candy at a festival, I can tell you this, is that we have had multiple times that we have put the commissioners float in the parade to, and what we've done is we've collected money. Jim, you were involved with it with former Commissioner Lennon, where we paid $250 to $300 each, and they went and bought candy for the float, but never would we have taken a position of asking taxpayers to pay for candy to be handed out. And I guess my question is this, is I would like to make a motion to rescind that amount, or what can we do to basically say no to it?
It's already been paid. I mean, the check would have already gone out. It's not that there has never been other candy purchases that have been paid for by the county. There are other elected officials, other departments that have done that in the past. This was a relatively high one compared to all those others, but it was a combination too of the candy and the dog treats. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but I think to try and claw this back would probably end up costing the taxpayers more money than what we spent to pay it. But that would be my only caveat to that. So, considering that it's already been paid, it could require legal action to try and get that back or something like that. So, I just think although, given your perspective, an egregious thing, but I think it would end up costing us more in the long run to try and get that back at this point.
I think, over the years with most of the elected officials, they have in their budget, and we're going through the budget hearings now, community outreach and things like that. And,
Marketing type expenses.
Yeah, marketing. And again, Ralph and I and Tim had to pay for our own candy that we threw out, which is fine, But maybe this is the time to investigate a little bit what department has so much for community outreach, or whatever they call it.
Right.
And then analyze that a little bit.
Yeah, I have no reason to think that the expenses were not, that nothing was illegal here. I mean, I think it was designed not for Auditor Walters, specifically. It was the auditor's office itself. So I don't think there was anything illegal about it. It was just one of those expenses that maybe doesn't pass the blush test, maybe, or something like that, to have to, explain to taxpayers. So.
Is that your position, Commissioner? Do you feel that's an illegal charge, or do you just feel
I
it's
don't
an
know.
excessive charge?
I don't, the best answer is I don't know. I just,
Yeah.
my dad always used to tell me, if you think it's wrong, it probably is. And, I can tell you that I got approached yesterday with a couple of people that actually showed me on their telephones of pictures from the parade at the Maple Festival of, the auditor's car that had this, huge sticker, like, that has almost a campaign thing that just, the name, Walter was 10 times bigger than anything else on the car that states the auditor. And, so it's just, I just don't, I guess I just don't want to be influencing something that is not right. And for the amount of people that I actually was, confronted with, obviously it set really, really bad. I left this meeting and I was immediately, approached about, why I didn't say nothing. And that's when I did, I completely missed it. I did. And so I don't know if the word illegal is a big word. I don't know if it's illegal. I don't know if it's unethical. But what I know is that it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, especially after seeing the display of the, of what was actually through the parade and how it appeared, so.
Yeah, I mean, I did notice that on the financials, and it did, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it jumped out to me as well as kind of a large expense. I did the trunk or treat for the commissioners at the sheriff's office. I paid for that candy by myself. I don't necessarily think I had to, but I think sometimes it's better to look like you're doing the right thing than just do the right thing. I would notice that for that particular parade, you as a candidate cannot be in. That is only for elected officials, so there's no, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner DeVorek, I know you did it recently, but you can't put a re-elect or elect on your vehicle or anything you hand out. It can just say your name and the office that you hold, which makes something like that, to me, seem like not a campaign event. I also know, as far as like the probate court, I've talked to Adrian about their financials, and whenever there's an election year, you've said their expenses for marketing go sky high.
Yeah, that community outreach account that Commissioner Dvorak mentioned, yes.
Yeah, for things like little gavels that they hand out at the
or a giant inflatable gavel,
right?
Which
with
was
somebody's
a
name
big
on.
headline, yeah,
so
at the time.
I do think there is kind of like a gray area as far as what is a campaign expense that taxpayers are funding, and what is do you understand what I'm saying? I do think that there's room where we can disagree. That's personally a way I would not want taxpayers to pay for those sort of things. But I understand that other elected officials may make different decisions.
No, I totally agree with you on that. It's like we really don't have a clear description of what it is. And I think that it was something that I wish I would have, saw last week, and I would have brought it up last week, and it was just something that really, was brought to my attention at a pretty great amount. And pictures were out there circulating, and people said that this was was taken in a very, very bad taste, rather than almost as if was supporting this, and I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I probably made a bad decision of approving financials and missing that last week, but that's why I felt it was important for me to say something. And I can't tell you if it's illegal, if it's unethical, I don't know. But that's why I was asking the question, to bring it out, publicly, to say, is there a way to pull that funding back? Is there something that we could do? Because I just wanted to ask to see what the option was.
But probably going forward, it would be all your consensus that, taxpayers shouldn't be paying for this. The
I feel that way.
officials should be paying for it for
Right.
for an event like that.
And we were extremely cautious as commissioners, and I can tell you, I don't know how many times we had that for various events, that we always, our county administrator would come up to us and say, hey, looking at X number of dollars in candy, would you be willing to split this? And each one of the commissioners would put it in. I mean, and there were times $250, there were times, I don't remember, Tim, maybe $300, $400, I don't know. But we always just worked together to do that. We paid for the candy, and it was done, So it was out of our own pocket, never a time that we took it from, from our funding, so.
I think now that we're in the beginning of a state, budget hearings, you should, after we get done with the budget hearing, to have a column, community outreach, each department, what are they spending, and then refer back to our revised code, what they can and what they can't do. So, because I know that there's a certain person that rents a space, a whole tent at the fair, passes out styrofoam gavels or whatever it is, and it all adds up.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to call the question.
Commissioner Spitaleri. Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Hey, good
Rick
morning.
Flamer
Good
for
morning.
Geauga County Airport.
Chris Schloss, President of the airport.
The Airport Authority is requesting the board approve and execute resolution number 26-068 approving the grant contract under fiscal year 2026 Ohio Airport Improvement Program matching grant for general aviation airports between the Geauga County Airport Authority, Geauga County Board of Commissioners, and the Ohio Department of Transportation Office of Aviation to construct T-hanger 59-foot by 218-foot under ODOT project number B26-61 at the Geauga County Airport, and authorizing the President of the Geauga County Board of Commissioners to execute the grant contract on the board's behalf.
So my understanding is our APA has not signed off on this, is that correct?
No.
Okay. And that my understanding is that the definition section links both the criteria and the standard assurances, and I tried to click on those links and I got a 404 error message. So I do have, I think, Rick, you provided the standard assurances, so we do have that paperwork, so we
Yes.
know what those are, but I still don't know what the criteria are.
This is what Rick provided to me this morning and highlighted the area that he apparently was included in the packet yesterday that was sent as well with the documents that was sent out yesterday.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm still uncomfortable though without our APA approving this. And I don't see, what says criteria here? Does anything?
He highlighted the area that was the,
I mean, the word criteria is not used at all. So I just feel uncomfortable signing something our APA did not approve as to form, and I don't feel like this deficiency has been remedied at this point.
So Rick, give us a little bit of a further discussion on this that you're requesting.
Through the IIJA, Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, FAA was granted a sum of money that we were able to apply to the T-Hanger project, $585,000 so far. There was a 5% local match for that, which we originally took out of the grant that the commissioners granted us last year. Subsequently, ODOT decided that they would put up that 5% local match, which this is for. That money is not taxpayer money. It actually comes out of the fees that are paid at airports and for avgas and things like that. Basically, free money to the county to.
So what this would basically do is the 5% that we were committed to is going to be picked up by ODOT instead of us. So this would save us approximately how much?
$30,789.
And when's the due date to submit this?
It was 30 days from the day that we received it, which is early June. I don't know the exact date.
Which is very soon.
Yes.
Yeah, but you could come back next week and provide, you know, the missing information, and our APA could sign off on this.
So did your legal counsel review it?
Yes.
Yes.
And signed it this morning.
She was here this morning and signed it.
Oh.
She understood the issue, though. I don't think she caught it.
Yeah, she's actually, when she was here this morning, she actually reached out to Rick about the criteria. She tried herself to click on the link and it didn't work as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think our council and the airport's council have similar objectives, but, I mean, there are times where we're gonna disagree, so I mean, I want our council to sign off on it.
So if we would approve this today, what could go wrong?
If you don't approve it today?
If we approved it today?
I'm afraid I don't know what could go wrong.
I don't know either. This is
Why you have an attorney.
Are you,
Because,
are you feeling that we're ineligible to receive?
I just want to know what I'm agreeing to.
Okay.
I want to know what the terms and conditions are, and right now, I don't know what the full terms and conditions are.
If you would read that document, you would know what the full terms and conditions
No,
are.
you're wrong, because it links a website that does not exist.
Which I provided the document that the
I don't
link
think
was
you
in.
did. I mean, nothing in this says criteria. The word that's defined as criteria, I do not see the word criteria one part in this document. Maybe I'm missing it. And I mean, I saw this 30 seconds ago. So I would have need to review this before, as would our legal counsel.
But we could make a motion hinged on the APA approval. We could do that today.
We could also table it until we have APA approval. I mean, I think this is a theme that the paperwork is lacking, and then 2 out of 3 commissioners approve it, and then nothing improves.
I don't think it's a theme. I think that, you know, historically, we have had this has been a difficult situation for a lot of years, because you have legal counsel, because technically there would be a conflict as far as with our prosecutor and with the airport authority. But you know, it's you know, you guys are doing what you basically were told to do to obtain counsel to approve this stuff. We have worked with them, you know, through the years of having, you know, good back and forth with that, with good data that they are committed to, and looking on behalf of you know, the airports, the airports and the county's interest also. You know, I think that Commissioner DeVork, if you're making the motion based on that, I would move to second with you.
Yeah, because it's hinged on, it's like anything else with other things along with the airport. It's like your attorney approves it contingent on our attorney approving it. And our attorney would add some things, and then they figure it out. So that's more or less my motion, that based on our APA approval, I make the motion for number 5.
I would just point out again that we do not know what we are agreeing to right now.
And that's part of what our attorney looks at to review it.
Right, I mean, she's approving it as to form, and we approve it as to policy. And so from a policy perspective, we don't know exactly what we're approving right now.
I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion? Call for vote.
Can I just have clarification that you're approving the resolution pending APA approval?
Correct.
So then you are not going to then take action on number 6 until we have APA approval?
Correct.
Just for clarification. Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Brady?
No.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes. That's the explanation of the motion. We'd like for our APA to approve it and work with yours.
And have us come back next week for number 6, then?
Yes.
Like to know the process?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I asked for clarification. So pending APA approval, we get APA approval, then we can come back to number 6, because number 6 is not happening today, based on the
Very well.
clarification.
And I will get you the paperwork for the new FAA grant as soon as I can get that put together.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning, Commissioners, ladies. Item number 7, the County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 26-069 to order the asphalt resurfacing of Bass Lake Road, County Highway 23, Sections D and E in Munson and Newberry Township. Resolution also requests the Board approve and execute the title sheet of the specifications for the same. And further, the resolution sets the bid opening for Friday, May 29th, 2026 at 10:05 a.m. using Bid Express at the County Engineer's Office. Notice of this bid opening will be advertised on May 14th, 2026 and on the county website.
I move to approve 7.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Thank you. Similarly, number 8, the County Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 26-070 to order the asphalt resurfacing of Bass Lake Road, County Highway 23, Sections F and G in Munson Township. Resolution also requests the Board approve and execute the title sheet of the specifications for the same. Further, resolution sets the bid opening as Friday, May 29th at 10:10 a.m. using Bid Express at the County Engineer's Office. Notice of the bid opening will be advertised on May 14th, 2026, and on the county website.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Brady?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Thank you. And lastly, item number 9, Engineers Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 26-071 to order the replacement of the Bascom Road Bridge, structure 0069-0101 in Hamden Township. This resolution also requests the Board approve and execute the title sheet of the plans for the same. And further, the resolution sets the bid opening for Friday, May 29th, 2026 at 10:15 a.m. using Bid Express at the County Engineer's Office. Notice of the bid opening will be advertised on May 14th, 2026 and on the county website.
I move to approve number 9.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Thanks, Shane. Have a good one.
Good morning.
How are you, Matt?
Hello, how is everyone?
You're dogless.
Okay, so, I mean, most of the audience saw, I had a puppy there, that's why I was out in the lobby.
Aw.
One of the families of the children that were here came and wanted to adopt it. So they just, in the other room, I told them, I go, well, I'm going to trust you to take it back to my shelter and fill out the adoption paperwork. So they just did that, and they just adopted that dog. So
All right, that's a heartwarming story. I didn't even know I was setting you up with that.
it was a 5-month-old puppy, gorgeous puppy, and I thought that it was going to come in here, but it did not. I was actually, some of you guys saw it out in the lobby. So it's great. I'm excited that we just did an adoption today. So wherever I can get an adoption somewhere. Okay, let me get on to my part, right?
Number 10.
Okay, Matt Granito, the Geauga Dog Warden. We are requesting that the dog warden close to the public on Mondays due to low staff and customer traffic, and need to allow additional time for law enforcement duties as well as training. It's not going to really affect much. We're open for the public from 10 to 3 on Mondays, or we have been. We're open 6 days a week, which is a lot. So we are going to close on Mondays, and a lot of it is to help the support of our law enforcement, our statutory duties that we're required to do. The sheriff's office is doing great. Allow their deputies actually help with the initial investigation as of late, and it's awesome and it works. But once it's turned over to my office to do a citation, since I'm by myself currently, it's just hard to do. I have someone, right now looking for a dog right now that I'm running back to try to do another adoption. So it's just difficult at this point. I don't think it's going to affect our operation. I'm still there on Mondays, and we'll still be able to do what we have to do for the community.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with this. The only thing that surprises me is that you have to come before us at all to approve this. But, I mean, it seems like it all worked out because you got to have a dog adoption today. So I'm not even going to question that. So I'll move to approve number 10.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spiller, Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWark.
No.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Good morning.
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 Charles Tekach, the Maintenance Department. I have 2 items on the agenda today, numbers 11 and 12. The first one is a change order, and it's actually a change order and a credit. There were 2 changes on the project. One was a catch basin, we're calling it catch basin 18, was not replaced, although it was in the scope of work to replace. It was still in good condition, and due to some rework that had occurred since the original installation, we chose not to change it out. So we had received a $937 credit, I believe. I might be saying that wrong. $978.69. And then the second change order was, there were fiber optic cables that were running along the route right towards the end of, if you look at the drawing, outfall number 4, it's about 150 feet from that. We were reworking that ditch, and that would have exposed the cables. So we had to reroute the ditch, and we actually reused catch basin 18 that we had already purchased, so we did not have to buy that. And that was a change order in the amount of $1,543.41. So with the credit, this total change order was reduced to $564.72. So the motion before us is the Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute change order number 2, increasing the contract with Ohio Paving and Construction Company Incorporated for the Safety Center parking lot repave project for the rerouting of storm drain to accommodate unknown communication lines discovered during construction in the amount of $564.72 for a new not to exceed amount of $875,603.49.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes. When is the project supposed to be completed?
It should be done within about 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
We're very close, yeah.
Okay.
We have,
That's
I think Phase 2, which is the left side of the north side of the west parking lot, should be fully paved this week. They'll be shutting down for the last section and then probably over the next 2 weeks. So give it about 3 weeks, it should be all wrapped up.
It's faster than I was expecting. I thought you were going to say sometime this summer.
It's going fairly well, of course, I probably just jinxed it.
I know, right? Yeah.
Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
All right, and item number 12, the Maintenance Department is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for bids for the Geauga County Opera House Masonry Repair and Restoration Project to be held on Wednesday, June 10th, 2026 at 2:00 p.m. Notice of this bid opening will be advertised on May 15th, 2026, May 22nd, 2026, and on the county website.
Chuck, can you just remind us what this project is, or for the people that are new?
Yeah, this is what I'm calling a facelift of the Opera House. So it's been about 20-plus years since we've had any repair work to the mortar, any bricks replaced, those types of things, and the coating on it, the painting on it is beginning to wear off and peel. So it will be a complete facelift on all 3 sides. Those are the sides that are currently exposed, where they will do tuck pointing, brick repair and replacement, and they will then repaint the entire outside.
I'll move to approve number 12.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Nick Goris, Water Resources. First item on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute a service contract agreement with All Lift Service Company to perform water section forklift repair and then maintenance and repairs as needed at both our wastewater and water district locations within the department for 1 year, not to exceed $6,500. $3,500 on the wastewater, $3,000 on the water. First part of it is actually to repair our forklift, so that's why it says repair, and then maintenance and repair. So part of it's to do a quote for an existing forklift that needs some repair.
I'll move to approve 15.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, we fought pretty hard, but we're still losing, so we're gonna work on this even further. But it's to grant a waiver of policy prohibiting the payment of late fees and finance charges and allow payment to the East Ohio Gas Company for invoices received after the final financial session in 2025 that were due prior to the first financial session in January 26 in the amount not to exceed $10. Even the actual cost is right now is like $7.60. We just did 10 of 10 just in case we incur something more in the time frame, but we've been calling, trying to work our way up the line to say, is there another way that we can skip? Can we pay early? But we can't really pay ahead, you know, so we're working through it, maybe go with a quarterly payment. I don't know, but unfortunately, it's where we're at.
Yeah, I was like, why are we just getting this now? But then I saw the email correspondence
Yeah.
you attached. So
we
there was
tried.
a valiant effort
We tried.
to try to get that waived, but unsuccessful, unfortunately. I'll
Yep.
move to approve 14.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Next item, I probably can do most of these together, but I'll split them up. Next item is requesting the board close the current posting advertising for 2 positions of maintenance worker, 1 position at the McFarland wastewater treatment plant, and 1 position for the water district. We're no longer posting for that position, so we need to remove them both.
I'll move to approve 15.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
The next item is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of maintenance worker number 2330 under the maintenance and operations section of wastewater. This position will remain posted until filled.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
The next item is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for position of maintenance worker number 2330 at the McFarland wastewater treatment plant. This position will remain posted until filled. The reason for this breakout is because the McFarland does require long hours, overnight hours, or third shift, so.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
And the next item and final for Water Resources, requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of wastewater operator 1, number 2326, internally for a period of 5 working days. If no qualified candidate is presently employed with the department, then advertise externally until the position is filled based on recent resignations.
I move to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 19, 20, and 21 are the Fourth Amendment for the approving the use of county credit cards for the year 2026. This includes the addition of the dog warden for their Geauga Credit Union Visa, to add users to the Department of Job and Family Services Right Express, and to remove a user for the Department of Water Resources on their Home Depot account. The next 20 is to approve those applications for authorization for use for the dog warden and Department of Job and Family Services employees. And then item number 21 is for the certification request to the county auditor for the dog warden for his quarterly use for 2, 3, and 4 quarters.
So I'll move to approve 19, 20, and 21.
Second?
Any discussion? Yes. On the credit card, will this be, can people buy a dog with their credit card now, or is just credit card used for his supplies?
This is for his department, it's not for the public to be able to use to buy, purchase dogs. That's a different credit card process. This is just for the
Working on that
department.
process someday, that someone that purchases a dog can pay with their credit card?
The credit card processing is what you're talking about, like, is in place, and there are other agencies that are working on that. I think the law had to change to allow Matt's department to be able to do that, and I think that was being worked on, and I know it's been a long ongoing process.
Okay.
So he's working towards it, I just don't know if it's there yet.
Okay. Call for vote?
Commissioner Spillier.
Aye.
Commissioner Brinkley.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
So this is that. Okay, so board discussion is Destination Geauga for the 22nd Annual Spring Drive It Yourself Tour. Mrs. Scheimer reached out to me. She actually was at New Day Cleveland this morning, so she couldn't actually be in session today. So she asked me to just bring it up with all of you. This is this weekend, the 16th, from 9:30 to 3:30, and it is, there's a long list of stops along the way, so it is the Spring Drive It Yourself Tour. So I wanted to just bring that up and then pass out the maps with all of the list of locations that you can make your stops at this weekend and visit places in Geauga County.
You get lots of freebies, too.
Yeah,
There's always
sometimes they do like the drawing where like you get your thing stamped
Yeah, you
at
get
each
your passport
location.
stamped, and then you bring it like to Adam Hall or something like that, and they have like a little
Yes.
party, and you can get a raffle.
Must be validated by 4 o'clock, and you must be present to be eligible for the prize drawing.
We're also going to post the information on Facebook as well. That's a nice event highlighting Geauga businesses. Anything else for board discussion? I mean, one thing I think we do need to revisit, I know you had this on the Friday focus for the commissioners, is the House Bill 96, homestead exemption and owner-occupied credit piggyback. I know we said for this year we declined. I really think we should revisit it. So it was new legislation last year, so we had to decide by the fall. But for this year, I think we need to decide by June or July, what we want to do for the following year. And I think we should at least consider implementing the homestead exemption, which would apply to disabled veterans and low-income seniors, essentially the most impoverished people in our county that don't have an option to earn more income. And this would increase their credit on their property tax bill.
Okay. Sounds good.
Before we go into
Sure.
public comment, we have a representative from First Energy. Wendy, would you like to say a couple words?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm a little short. Wendy Zeely, your new local engagement representative for Geauga County. I've been with the company just shy of 30 years. Been supporting Lake and Ashtabula County over the last 12 years, so not new to the position, just new to the county. But a lot of familiar faces. I've always been the support backup for the previous representatives with Dave Conley and Dean Haynes. So started, I believe it was mid-March, and the day after the notification went out, had a great opportunity to work with the EMA because we had a nice storm that came through. So just wanted to take the opportunity, say, if you need anything, you have my cell phone, please don't hesitate to use it. I look forward to getting to know Geauga County again.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate the invitation.
Anything else for board discussion? Okay, moving on to item 23, public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and township or municipality, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and are kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct.
Go ahead, up front.
Anastasia Nicholas, Chagrin Valley Times. My question, according to the county's financial system, over $4,000 has been spent on candy since 2020. None of the commissioners questioned the $1,000 candy expense when it was presented last week. Do you know this money was being spent? And if so, why was it allowed up until this point?
So I mean, I guess I could start by saying that at the beginning of the meeting, I don't recall if you were here. I full disclosure, I missed it.
Right, I heard that.
And I would have definitely said no to it last week, and that's why I brought it up today, because it was pretty absorbent amount of money, and I know that there's been candy that has been purchased in the past, and some of the history was done on it. Some of it was for like a school program type of thing, where from Jobs and Family Services, and there was some other that was purchased through the engineers department, and I can't recall if it was in additional times that that candy was purchased again through the auditor's office. So I think that it is definitely a concern, and I appreciate you bringing it up again, because I think it does need to be addressed. I will tell you, for like Jobs and Family Services in that fashion, where they're doing different programs with kids and stuff, I think if it's a reasonable request, I would support it. But as far as for elected officials to be able to do that, I would say that we're better than that, and that would be what I would tell you.
What do you say going forward? You are all going to look at that more closely when things like that are being bought?
I can assure you.
Especially with going through the budget hearings now. We'll bring that topic up. In the back, sir.
Good morning, Tim Lennon, Geauga County.
Morning.
Hi, I'm glad that you brought this up, Commissioner Spitaleri. That's exactly why I came in today. I caught wind of this as well, the candy, and it really stunk of hypocrisy to me. I mean, the question was just asked about other agencies buying candy, and they're not running in an active primary election days away, marching in a parade. I think we can read between the lines exactly what it was. This was using tax dollars, basically throwing money around on the streets of Chardon, our tax dollars, which I think is just absurd and stinks of hypocrisy. I don't know, I'm sure there's other elected officials that have used their positions to promote themselves, and I've seen that before, and I don't support that. So hopefully going forward, you can put a policy in place that if you are an elected official, especially in election season, we shouldn't be using our tax dollars to promote yourself. So I appreciate you all calling it out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Adam?
Adam Lickey, Geauga Public Health. I just wanted to let you guys know we had our special needs fishing event last week, Friday. We had over 110 kids come out, by far the largest one we've ever had. I think 80 is usually our comfort zone, and we were pushing 110 with some of the schools that brought a lot of extra kids. to the point that we had to use the park's fishing rods because we didn't have enough fishing rods at that point. We were striving to make it work, and we had a number of parents and then students reach out to Mr. Commissioner Dvorak and I and mention that some of the kids, because how special needs they are, they don't get to go out very often because it's very difficult for the parents to take out kids in wheelchairs or with hearing abilities and whatnot with the noise coming in. And so this is one of the first times a lot of them have been fishing. A lot of the first times they've been out like in the outdoors doing something outdoorsy. And then we had a couple of kids that mentioned their teachers just this week that it was the best day of their life, what they described it as, because it was their first time getting to come to something like that. So very well received, very well done, and we had a lot of the Rotaries helped out. My kids ended up baiting hooks as well because we were so short on people helping even bait hooks because a lot of teachers did not really want to touch worms then bait a hook. But overall really well, and then we had Santa come out and do some stuff as well and hand out some things to the kids. So just to let you guys know, for the residents of Geauga County, it was very well received, and the kids absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's a really special event every year. Where can we find photos of that, Commissioner Dvorak? Does anyone post any online?
I know that the courier was there taking photos. And,
All right, good. So,
I have some.
Someone from Chagrin Rotary. Too.
I'll give you guys those ones too.
But the Park District is just phenomenal. When I started this 11 years ago, that I requested that the park would be closed down just for this event. And they said, well, this is the first time we closed the park down to the public for anything. But you have to create a utopia for these kids, so there isn't any people riding their bikes or walking their dog or anything else, or coming in and sitting on a dock reading a book, because we had, like I said, like you said, over 110, and where some schools signed up for 13 kids, and the bus comes in and drops off 28. So, and we did have a backup, because I called John Oros, and he had fishing poles from the Park District there, because I'd rather, when you organize anything, I'd rather look at it than look for it. And by golly, we had to use all of their fishing poles. So, next.
Christine Stenzel Munson. I wanted to talk about number 11. I just am confused as a resident how, as far as opening bids at $564, not to exceed $875,603, I don't know how that works. So maybe I'm naive to know how these expenditures take place, but it always catches our attention when we're talking about $1,000 for candy or $6,000 for a plaque at the courthouse, because it's more something we can comprehend. But when we get to these big numbers, it just kind of all is a big blur in our heads of how much we're really spending in our county, the things that get approved every week. Just wanted to mention that. I don't know if anybody could explain anything to me about that, because I know you don't usually respond to public comment, but I would love it if someone could.
Well, if you could meet with Chuck, he's our detail guy on all maintenance and buildings. He can break it down for you.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, I mean, for that specific item, there was a change order that was a credit, and then there was another, there was an item that was a credit, and then there was another item that added a cost, and together they netted out that $564, and then the new total is that $875.
Okay. I guess I just applied to my personal life, looking at a starting bid for something I'm having done.
You're still talking about 11? There's no starting bid in 11.
Yes.
There's not a starting bid.
So I don't understand what the initial $564.
That's what I just explained. So there was a change order that increased the cost of that project. There was another change order that decreased the cost. They net out the $574. There's no.
I
nothing,
understand.
There's no starting bid or anything. And then the new cost after that change order is that $875.
Okay, so, but back to my, the other thing I was pointing out is that when we talk about small numbers, $1,000 for candy or $6,000 for a plaque at the courthouse, it's funny how that grabs our attention, and just wanted to bring that up because it makes us all say, wait, how are we spending our money? Just wanted to make that comment. Thank you.
And on number 11, it was, when we had bids, there was some that was over 900,000, there was some over $1 million. So we try to do our due diligence on everything we purchase and take prices.
Yeah, and it's important to note that anything, I believe what's the competitive bid threshold, Chuck, 77,000-ish?
Yes.
So anything over 77,000, it has to go out through a competitive bid process. So I think that should give taxpayers some relief.
Right.
And then even things that are below that, we don't just go to someone's buddy and give them a contract.
I understand
mean, if
that.
something's
Yeah.
$50,000, the maintenance department is still making calls to different vendors. Would you agree with that? Yeah, just to make sure that we're getting the
So, as they
best
say in
price.
Washington, I'd like to buy back my time. One more comment. So, as you had said, well, because I didn't get to, say, the last thing I wanted to say about the library, when you mentioned the cost for the senior center, that could have been the several $1 million less that was brought up with Chris Carroll, that you had brought up, we could have spent less. Why did it get approved then if it could have been, the senior center could have been, the transition could have been had for less?
I don't know where you're asking me that question. I voted no.
I know you voted no, but that's what I'm asking. Since you pointed that out, why did we vote yes? That was my question.
Are you still taking your time?
I am. I put another minute on since that's what was left.
Yeah, I mean, so it was appraised at 1.8 and the purchase price was 3.2.
Right, so I love that you found a lower price would be better, but I was just wondering how it still got approved. Just a question, hypothetical.
We didn't find a better price. That's just what the appraisal came in at as indicating that was the market value is the 1.8. But I mean, the other commissioners felt that it was worth that
Right.
price.
Thank you.
Any more public comment?
And I would just point out again, the public comment policy states that,
The fifth person's over now.
no, the policy states that you can either have a public comment at the first period or the second period. I mean, if we want to change that policy, which I think there's a good argument to do it, we can, but currently that's what the policy says.
Thank you for the opportunity, and
Well, I mean, are you allowing him, that's against the policy to allow him to, because you had a public comment in the first period,
I
correct?
did.
Yeah, so that's against the policy to have it again.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
And I did send in a notice that the preventing people from commenting twice is an unconstitutional breach of First Amendment. So you can review the legal analysis I sent you this morning. So I'd ask to be able to speak. If you're going to prevent me, I want that in the meeting minutes. You prevented citizens.
We just have to follow our policy. That's what our policy says. That's what we approved. So we have to, as I said, I think there's an argument to say that people should have an extra time, but right now that's not what it says. And so our policy was approved by the prosecutor's office. There's nothing against it's a First Amendment issue. The First Amendment issue is if you keep talking and we allow you to talk. That's the First Amendment issue. Because that hurts the people that are getting cut off at 3 minutes.
I'm not sure what you just said at the end of it, but as
I would suggest, so I would make a motion. What's our next item on the agenda?
Well, I
if there's
forgot
no one
you
else?
spoke first, Skip, so apologize
So
for
I guess
coming up to the
my
microphone.
thoughts is I think that this, I think that this is a situation where it's not like we've got an enormous amount of people here that we're bombarded with this. And I just think that it's getting ridiculous, that we can't give people an opportunity at the end of the session of hearing the stuff that we talked about or something to be able to comment on. At the beginning, if they have a question about something, they can say it. I mean, and maybe we were just very, very lax of just be able to, this is the people's meeting too. I get it. It's a business meeting, but it's like we serve the residents of this county, and if they want to say something, good, bad, or indifferent, I've been on the hot seat many, many times over the last number of years, and people say something that they want to say to me, say it. But at the end of the day, I just feel that we're just censoring people, and I'm not comfortable with it. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I don't know what the harm is. It just, this policy probably needs to be looked at because it's upsetting, I think, a lot of people, and I totally agree with them.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, we could revise the policy, but right now, the policy is what it is, and we need to enforce the policy, or why do we have it? I'd also point out that, Ralph, when you were commissioner, you didn't always have public comment. I mean, there are minutes where you say, we're not doing public comment this year. So, and certainly there's never been a time in the commissioner's that I'm aware of any journal I've looked at where there's public comment at the beginning and the end. It was only at the end if it was allowed at all. So this idea that we're taking it away, we're taking people's voice away, that's just not accurate with the history, and I mean, frankly, it's a lie.
I don't necessarily, I understand that you took a statement that was made and you're going to, you know, continue to keep that on point, but we didn't have a formal comment section at the beginning, we didn't have a formal comment section at the end. We had a situation where even during the meeting itself, if a resident had a question about an issue that was coming up, we gave them the opportunity to talk. Am I correct, Commissioner Lennon?
Well, even when I was a commissioner, people could speak on any topic for any length of time. There was no
You know, and I guess
policy.
my question
People
is
just spoke.
that, you know, you came in today, former Commissioner Lennon, with some paperwork that I just kind of briefed through this, and I don't know if that's what you were about to speak on or what it was, but, you know, I'm troubled a little bit by this too, and, you know, so I you know, it's.
It was, that was Commissioner,
Okay, we need
ex-Commissioner
to keep
Claypool.
on.
Point of
Let me
order,
just say
point of
thank-
order,
thank you,
point of
Ralph.
order.
Thank you, Ralph, for
thank you.
comments you made earlier on the
Also-
library. I think that helped a
we-
lot, the public.
Mr. Claypool,
to
I'm
get
trying to
understanding.
get you a spot to
And-
speak. So if you're giving me challenges,
And I
it's up
forwarded
to
the
you.
letter. Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that policy that we created, I added a line in there where if we want to extend it or change it for just that one meeting, if someone would make the motion to have one more speaker for 3 minutes,
So I'll make that motion.
I second it for one more speaker on this occasion for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I would just say that it has to be consistent with our policy, which would be that you can't have someone speaking multiple times during public comment.
Anybody wants to speak? Well, you both spoke, but with that motion, you want to make an exception to the
Yes.
1 and 2 rule? Okay. Mr.
Well,
Claypool,
we-
take the...
Hold
take
on, we
the-
didn't vote on the.
Okay,
we
have to
didn't
vote on it.
Yeah.
Any more discussion?
So can we clarify what the motion is?
I was given one more speaker for additional 3 minutes, and that you want to amend the number 1 and number 2 rule.
Yep, that's it.
Are we amending it permanently, or are we just
Just today.
temporarily for this meeting? Okay, I understand.
Call for vote?
Aye.
Commissioner Brady?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes. Set the timer.
Thank you, Mr. Dvorak. Anyway, and thank you for this. And I did send a document to the commissioners this morning on what I consider to be an unconstitutional, because of the way the policy is created, unconstitutional policy. That aside, Ralph, again, I want to thank you for the comments you made this morning on the library and the Department on Aging. That was information the public didn't have, I didn't have, and what you said was very on point, and it at least made the case to me. And so thank you for doing that, because it was very helpful to many of us. I gave the Commissioner's Office a letter that was dropped in my mailbox. Somebody did it over the weekend. I'm cutting my grass, and some guy puts this letter in my mailbox having to do with Frank Antonucci and his use of his official title in a personal Facebook page as he was trying to campaign. And so that seems to not smell very good. As Commissioner Lennon had said this morning, public offices, and we always did this, at least when I was a commissioner, the appearance, you always avoid the appearance of impropriety. And so to invest $1,000 in candy at least creates the appearance of a problem. Putting a huge logo on the side of your car as an auditor in a campaigning season and driving around in a clear event such as the Maple Fest creates the appearance. I would like to ask that the Commissioner's Office do an investigation. Reach out to the Board of Ethics, the Ethics Commission in the state of Ohio, to see if in fact this does cross a line. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it at least creates the appearance, and that's a problem in and of itself. So when I've got people dropping off communications in my mailbox have issues, there's clearly public that has issues with this and a challenge, and this office should at least respond to that and make sure that we're doing things above board at all times. We always did take a collection when I was a commissioner for candy, so we went out and handed it out in Maple Fest. We didn't make a big deal of it. We had our float in there, but we kind of just, shook the hands of the people that were there and so on and so forth. So I appreciate, again, this opportunity to speak again. I don't think it created a big problem for the office, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, this appears to be an employee's personal Facebook page, and employees have First Amendment rights to say whatever they want on their personal Facebook page. I don't see any evidence that this employee used taxpayer resources to promote this message.
My only concern with that would be is the timing of this. If somebody's actually on, county time and they're engaged in this, I believe that we just had a situation that's going through the court process right now with some kind of a letter that was written up on county time, or how, I don't know all the details, so I can't speak exactly and accurately to it. But I know that that's something that's there. This is the first that I saw this, but if this is a situation that, I think maybe there needs to be a look into of when exactly were these posts being made. And if it was on company time, I think that that's definitely a concern if that's a situation. So I guess that's my position, and I don't know exactly how that how that process should be started to look into this and to investigate it. And I guess I would ask, for maybe some assistance of this, because I don't, it's not something that I know the answer to.
Well, I would say he's not our employee as this board. He's an ADP, or was at least an ADP employee.
Right.
So that'd be something you would take to the ADP board. I don't think our office has any business in this, frankly.
Okay.
That concludes our public comment.
Thank
No,
you.
it hasn't.
We had 5 people at 3 minutes.
You didn't have 5 people.
Yeah, we did.
Not at the closing comments, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
Who were they?
5, excuse me, 5.
We had 5.
Yes.
All right, there'll be no laughing next week, so.
Oh, wait, I have an update for you. I contacted Grace Galucci yesterday. She's working with ODOT to have somebody work with her on a presentation. She wants to use the Federated Church on 306 in 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Here, Jim,
Well, it's
Federated Church.
a public.
Here.
This is public, that's public, St. Helens is public, everything's public.
Geauga County, it's not the church.
It's in Geauga County. The Federated Church is in Geauga County.
The church is not in Federated Church. We've been through that program before, and because I've been there, it's just there in Bay Bridge County, or Bay Bridge. It's bullshit.
Okay?
And it should be held here in our room. And if he tries to pull this again, there's gonna be a tremendous turnout for if he tried to hold it at the Federated Church.
Good to know.
You were there last time, I would think. Other people have been there.
Okay, well, it's a nice place.
So's the county building. It's a nice.
It's closer to your house. I'll pick you up and take you there.
What house?
It's closer to your house, that location.
This is close enough for me too, Jim.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to item 24.
Item 24, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the compensation of public employees pursuant to ORC 121.22G1.
So moved.
Second?
Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore.
Yes.
We will have myself, Deputy County Administrator Jimison, the Sheriff, Chief Rowan.
Okay. I have you in at 11:18. one is all three. That one should be just you. Yes, just you.
No action.
Okay, I have you returning at 11:39. No action?
No action.
Okay, I do have one additional item. I didn't check my email. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the Supreme Court of Ohio agreement to mediate and confidentiality in regards to the Port Geauga Juvenile Detention Center. I'll move to approve.
Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler?
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer?
Yes.
One quick follow-up also, the question that Commissioner Dvorak had about the public being able to buy dogs from the dog warden using credit cards, they cannot. So I can follow up
They can't?
further. They cannot.
It's just that I've always been uncomfortable with the cash transaction.
They put cameras in there now, though.
That's something we can look into.
Okay. Because
talk with
Matt says that people used to buy a dog, give them a check, and then a check bounce, and they have the
Yeah.
dog. And
Yep.
they're in Lake County.
You're right.
Yeah, I was like, I
So,
knew that there was something in there that he was not allowed, and I didn't know if that had changed, so.
We'll follow up. Okay.
So at least with that, it would go
Before we close, I
direct.
just want to say that was really, really awesome this morning with that, so good job on behalf of you and Mark putting that together. That
Max.
was really, really neat.
That was Max, truly.
Yeah, it was a great, and I think that I think that those kids will remember that and appreciate it, right? And parents will too, so thank you.
I think it's really neat that it happens, you started this on America 250.
And it's my 1-year anniversary today.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
Happy anniversary. Lots of good positive changes in the county.
Thank you. I have nothing
All three
further.
of us sign here?
Anything further from the board? No?
There you go. Is there a motion to adjourn? That's it.
No, it's just you, not all three. Sorry.
Make a motion to adjourn?